Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Megan Shade, one of the admissions counselors here at Florida Coastal School of Law. I am going to give it a couple minutes in case anybody else does join us. I'm going to give it just another minute in case anybody joins us. But of course, there might be people who do tag in after we get started, and that's fine. We do like to let those who did show up on time make sure you get all the information that you are here for today. I encourage you guys to ask questions if you have them, whether you're asking them throughout, and if I can insert them into whoever is presenting, I will go ahead and do that for you to get them answered. And then, of course, there'll be time at the end. If you guys have any questions, we'll be happy to answer those for you. I want to go ahead, give me just a second here, and I will go ahead and get us started here. So I am going to go off webcam just so that you guys can kind of see the slides a little bit bigger and able to focus on that during the presentation. But today you are here for our High Achievers Enrichment opportunities. We wanted to take the time to share a little bit about the opportunities that you're going to have outside of the classroom that can enrich your learning and make you a better law student. So listed here is everybody we have that is going to present to you today. So like I said, my name is Megan Shade, and I'm the Senior Admissions Counselor here in our office. I have Professor Karen Millard, who will be talking to you about our pro bono programs. We have Vivian Gonzalez, who will be talking to us about the Moot Court Honor Board. We're hoping Kier will get here. He was in court earlier this morning, so hopefully he's just running a little late. He'll be talking to you about our mock trial team. We have Cody on the line, who's going to talk to you about law review. And then we have our alumni, Jamie, who is going to finish out us here this afternoon and talk to you about her experiences in a number of these different organizations. All right, so the opportunities we are going to cover today are our Academic Honors Program, our Pro Bono Program, our Moot Court Honor Board, our Mock Trial Team, and Law Review. So we're going to start with our Academic Honors Program, and I'm going to go ahead and cover this. This does not mean that I'm in charge of the Academic Honors Program. There is a faculty member here on campus who does help with this program if you have any questions. So you might be asking, what is the Academic Honors Program? So I kind of took a little bit of information that I was provided about this program, and kind of the benefits that it will have are actually on the next slide. But the intent is to bring our students together who have demonstrated an aptitude and desire to excel, and basically bringing you together to collaborate, to think critically, take advantage of networking, experiential learning, leadership opportunities, and really transform you into the legal environment. So requirements for this, for incoming students, I figure that was the best thing to talk about. Incoming students, their undergraduate GPA needs to be a 3.4, and the LSAT score has to be a 150 or above. There is an application required for this, so if it is something that you're interested in, make sure you get in contact with your admissions counselor and they can assist you. I also wanted to give you a little bit about the benefits of the program. This is not an all-inclusive list. This is just some of the things that are available to students who are a part of this program. There's a director available, so that's the same faculty member who oversees the program. There's community mentoring opportunities, priority registration. There's different networking opportunities. So it is a great benefit to students who are in this program. There's also the opportunity to join the program after your second and third year as well. So if that's something you're interested in, you'll be hearing about it, once you are on campus. But we wanted to kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what it's like now, in case you had any questions. Kier, I just want to say hi. I see that you're on.
Yes, I am.
We just got started here, and I will let you know when you're up. There will be a slide that lets you know if you want to go ahead. You can go ahead and mute yourself just in case there's any outside noise that comes in, but we will let you know when you're up.
Okay, will do.
Thank you. All right, so that was a little bit about the Academic Honors Program. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Professor Millard here, who's going to talk to you about our pro bono program.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for participating in today's webinar. It's terrific that we're able to get our admissions team, Florida Coastal students and alumni, as well as a professor online today to share some great information that we have about the school's program. I, like Megan, will start out with the camera and then stop so that you can focus your attention on the various slides that I've prepared for today. Megan is the one that's going to be moving the slides forward. So Megan, if you will, let's move on to the next slide now so I can start the discussion. So I want to talk to you about pro bono. To define the term, it really just means to volunteer. At Florida Coastal, one of the missions of the law school is to serve the underserved. And our law school's pro bono program goes hand in hand with the law school's overall mission. We want to help those students that attend Florida Coastal understand the importance of giving back in their communities. So there's not only an ethical but a professional responsibility to provide service. And many of you may be thinking, what's the difference between ethics and professionalism? Well, professionalism under the law, we have certain rules that govern our behavior. And so that's the floor from which we have to operate. So if it says we have to complete a number of pro bono hours, then we have to do it. Whereas our ethics are something that we bring with us to law school, those things that drive us. So so many students at Florida Coastal will come in and say, yes, I'm going to complete pro bono work. I know there's a requirement, but then others say, you know, I like this so much, this type of work, that I'm going to continue to get involved in the community and even do more. Megan, let's move to the next slide. I want to talk to you about what's in it for you. I know that's not what people immediately think when they think of doing pro bono work, and maybe that's not the typical way to approach volunteering in the community. But I do want to share with you some benefits. Participation in the program really does provide you an opportunity to learn about the needs of those that you might be providing representation to in the future. Not only will you get to learn about the law, but you also get to develop legal skills. It's great the first semester in law school because you're in the classroom and you're learning. You've got, it's almost like a new language that you're being exposed to. But you don't get as much as the hands-on immediately because you are learning so much from a textbook. By volunteering, you get to start seeing how what you're learning in the classroom will be applied in the practice of law once you get some of those basic skills. It benefits you, but it also benefits the community. It's extremely helpful for you to get involved and interact with clients, to interact with other attorneys, to meet people in your community. But at the same time, you're making a difference for those that don't have the resources to help themselves. About 1 out of every 5 people, or 20% of those that need legal help, are actually getting it right now. The reason for that is that so many attorneys don't do pro bono work. I can't explain that. I know the reasoning based on surveys that I've read. But again, at Florida Coastal, we really want you to learn legal skills, explore alternative career options, develop your professional contacts, and become involved in your communities so that when you graduate, you can hit the ground running. You have contacts already such that you're able to get employed quickly. You get independent educational value because not only are you applying what you're learning in the classroom, but you're also gaining invaluable experience in communicating with clients, developing your ability to recognize legal issues, figuring out, what is a real legal claim, one that I can win versus one that's not very doesn't have merit. So at Florida Coastal, I just want to talk to you a second about what we require and what you can be recognized for as far as the type of work that you're going to do. Megan, can we go to the next slide? All right, and so legal work versus community service work. I'm wondering if you guys are able to operate your hands or your thumbs through this presentation. How many of you have already engaged in community service work or work that's not legal work? And I'll give you a second to respond. All right, at least I have one person technologically inclined and involved in their community. Well, at Florida Coastal, we recognize that people come to law school that have already been very involved. They have charities, nonprofit organizations that are near and dear to their hearts, and so we want to make sure that you continue those relationships. Once you start your legal studies, the only requirement that we have is that you do 10 hours of legal work before the semester that you graduate. You could really do that in a very long day. We have pro bono orientation projects at the beginning of your legal studies in August. I believe that's Friday, August 18th or 19th. I'm going to mess up the date right now because I don't have a calendar in front of me, in which we give you that first exposure to doing community service work. Now, that's the requirement. After that, like I said, I want you to be able to continue to maintain relationships that you may have had in the past. And so if you wanted to continue to do community service work through your, let's say you're involved in a church, a pet shelter, you name it, any nonprofit organization would count for community service. You can continue to do that. In comparison, we also want you to get legal experience, and so to be recognized at graduation and to receive some honors associated with that recognition at graduation, if you complete 125 hours of work in law school, you get a fancy cord that you wear when you're walking up to the stage and get your degree. Also, you'll be invited to attend a pro bono honors reception. You'll have a notation on your transcript that says pro bono, and also a certificate to put in your office when you graduate and you begin your work after law school. So you would do a combination of legal work and community service work. Legal work could be through any of the nonprofits, like legal aid organizations or legal services organizations, Department of Children and Family Services, Guardian Ad Litem. There are lots. Don't worry, today would not be the only time that you hear about pro bono. We have a presentation that we provide during orientation at the law school, and we hold monthly meetings after that. My purpose for being here today is just to let you know how important it is to Florida Coastal and to the members of the team at Florida Coastal that our students do get out and try to make a difference in the lives that those that really don't have the resources to help themselves, the poor in our community. That is a small portion of what we do with pro bono. I'm available now, if it's okay with Megan, to address any questions that members of the audience might have.
That is fine with me. If anyone has any questions, ask away.
Okay. Well, I hope hopefully that a recording will be available, or you could always. Is the pro bono work required for the graduation of LLM students? No, it is not. We don't require the LLM students to participate in the pro bono program. That's a good question. All right, anyone else? Well, feel free to email me if you have any questions. You can go to Florida Coastal's homepage, put in Karen Millard, and it'll bring probably a picture of me up, as well as my email address and phone number. Either form of communication is great for me. I appreciate, Megan, you having me, inviting me to participate today.
Yes, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us about the pro bono program. You know, I thought it was very important when I was a student too, so hopefully everybody will get very involved.
Great.
All right, so we'll go ahead and transition then. So Vivian, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, we'd love for you to share with the students a little bit about Moot Court, actually what it is in case they don't know, and just some of your experiences that you've had being a team member.
Okay, hello everyone. My name, as Megan said, is Vivian Gonzalez. I'm the president of the Moot Court Honor Board at Florida Coastal School of Law. And I will begin by explaining a little bit about Moot Court, exactly what it is, because I think that people don't necessarily always know what Moot Court is and how to distinguish it from mock trial. So Moot Court is oral advocacy, obviously advocacy, but at the appellate level. So unlike mock trial, you're already done with the trial when you get to Moot Court. And if your client didn't like the judgment or the verdict, then the client obviously appeals the case, and that's where Moot Court comes in. So we're advocating at the appellate level. The interesting thing about Moot Court is that we deal every day with real issues that arise in the legal field. A lot of the competitions that we go on actually take real life cases that are current events that we've been dealing with, the immigration order, issues about, say, workers' compensation, all that stuff, and then they creatively change the names of the clients and the events, and they create a Moot Court problem, and then they distribute it to the law schools that are willing to participate in each competition. And we get the problems, and we do legal research, and we formulate legal arguments as if we were actually out in the legal field. When we get to competition, we typically argue in front of a panel of about 3 to 5, maybe more, depending on the competition, real live judges. So that's also something that's super interesting and unique about Moot Court. The exposure that you obtain because you're actually dealing with real life judges and real life attorneys out in the legal field. And another interesting thing about Moot Court, specifically at Florida Coastal, and I think it's something that's unique to our process, is that as we're going through the preparation cycle, which I'll tell you a little bit more about in a second, but as we're preparing for competition, the executive committee as well as the faculty advisor ensures that we contact people, attorneys that are actually practicing currently, to come sit and bench for us and help us prepare for competition. So it's an incredible opportunity when you're a Moot Court Honor Board member to network, to get exposure, not only to deal with actual legal issues, but to also build connections, which are vital to do while you're in law school. So another question that people typically have about Moot Court is, what does a team consist of? People are sometimes concerned, if I join the program, will I have an opportunity to actually participate, to actually compete? And the answer to that is yes. Most of the time, most of the people that try out for the Moot Court Honor Board at Florida Coastal actually do compete. And the reason for that is that our teams are pretty big. Usually we take 2 teams to competition, and each team consists of 3 people. You've got 2 advocates, the people that actually argue in front of the judges, but you've also got a brief writer, and we've got a team manager. And in addition to that, we usually have a coach. Now, the coach can be the faculty advisor, which is one of the professors at the school, or it can be an alumni. So there is definitely a part for everybody on the team. People who don't want to be advocates, who don't like speaking in public, can be a writer if they like to. People who don't like to write can actually be advocates, and people who want to do neither, they're not comfortable writing and they're not comfortable advocating, can be a manager. And every single position is important, and every position has a vital role to our program. Another awesome thing about Moot Court here at Florida Coastal is that we get to travel. Each team gets to travel for free to many different cities. I know that was definitely super appealing to me before I tried out, and it was a motivating factor. We go to competitions all across the nation: Chicago, New York, Las Vegas, Miami, Orlando. Again, we travel for free. And not only that, but the school gives us a per diem check for food. So I think it's about $40 per day, depending on how many days we stay. You can get $120, however much, do the math. But it's very cool that not only do we get to travel and advocate and do what we love, but we get to do so for free. Then when we get to competition, we are fully equipped after a 10-week preparation cycle to answer every single question that is brought before us, that is presented in an educated manner. And another incredible thing about Moot Court is that we are dealing with the issues that you will deal with your first year law school, or rather your first year of law school. All of the issues that you're dealing with, your torts classes, your property class, all of those issues, you're putting them to practice. You're doing real legal issue or research that's going to teach you about the current state of the law, which it's not something that you get in the classroom. It's actual practical experience that you can only obtain if you engage in extracurricular activities or if you're actually working or interning or anything like that. So that's definitely something interesting about Moot Court, is the amount of knowledge that you gain. Additionally, many employers, they'll tell you they won't even interview you, they won't consider an application unless you have Moot Court or law review or mock trial on your resume. And so the experience, the advocacy skills that you develop, and the job opportunities that are open to you from joining these kinds of teams, it's completely invaluable. Another fantastic and very proud part of Moot Court at Florida Coastal is that we've been #1 in the nation 2014 and 2015, and we're working hard towards reaching that goal again this year. But even when we're not #1, we're always top ranked in the country according to national jurists. So at least top 20. We're known. Moot Court at Florida Coastal is known. It's definitely something to have on your resume, and not just because of our ranking, but again because of the invaluable experiences and skills that you learn. A lot of people ask about time management, and when you start law school, it can feel a little overwhelming, especially that first semester where you're trying to deal with how to read and how to, maintain your grades. And it's a shift, a very big one from undergraduate workloads. The thing about Moot Court, and I'm sure Kiara will tell you as well as Cody, the thing about these extracurricular activities and joining these teams is that they force you to learn how to manage your time. Before Moot Court, I was a little bit disorganized with my time. Actually, I didn't even have a planner, but because everything runs on a tight schedule, and every single minute has a purpose in your life, you're able to manage your time wisely. And I've noticed that my grades have improved significantly from when I started Moot Court, because I know that any extra time that I have to study, I have to do my homework, I have to read. And then I devote the rest of my time to Moot Court. And of course, I'm a person, I have to have a life. So again, you learn, you're forced to learn how to manage your time wisely, which is, I think, a very, very important skill to do, especially when we go out in the legal field. And lastly, regarding things that, and again, I can go on about Moot Court forever. These are things that come off the top of my head, but another valuable skill that you learn from Moot Court is, because you're putting all of the classes that you're learning into practice, and you're learning how to do research, and you're learning the current state of the law, you're actually getting practice. It helps a lot of students get ready for the bar. I know that from the competitions that I've been in, some of the issues that I dealt with, I learned later on in class. So by the time I got to constitutional law 2, I had already dealt with, in a competition, with freedom of speech and freedom of religion. So I was good to go and ready on that topic. And that happens all the time. Not to mention, you are learning, you are building connections and bonds with people that are, in my opinion, completely unbreakable. I don't think that I can envision my life without Moot Court in law school. It has definitely been the best experience and the best part of law school for me. And with that said, I am willing to answer any questions should anybody have them, if Megan allows.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions. And Vivian, are you able to stay on till the end as well in case there's questions at the end?
I actually cannot, but if anybody has any questions for me that I'm not able to answer right now, my email is v.j Gonzalez. It's actually Gonzalez as well. There's a Z at the end there. Oh, you're good. You're good. At law.fcsl.edu.
Does anybody have any questions for Vivian? Oh, question.
Okay, so Annalise is asking what year do people typically try out? So you'll try out your first year, second semester. The first semester of law school is very rigorous and very difficult, so you can't pile that on right then. But your second semester, once you've learned a little bit more how to manage your time and juggle everything that you have to, we will come to your classroom and inform you about the tryout process. And there's my email right there. If anybody has further questions, I can answer now or towards the end. But yes, in short, you try out your second semester of your first year. Any more questions? No problem.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Vivian. If we get any more questions, and I will definitely send a follow-up to everyone who attended and make sure they have your contact information as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope that everybody's encouraged to at least try out for Moot Court. It's the best.
Thanks so much, Vivian.
You're welcome. Have a great
day. You too. All right, Kiara, you are up next. Oh, I think you're already unmuted, so go right ahead.
Outstanding. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for having me. My name is Kiara Edwards, and I'm the president of Florida Coastal's mock trial team. I believe I want to, take a different approach. I want to try to sum this portion of the webinar up in like 3 areas. First, what is mock trial? What you will learn from mock trial, and how do you join mock trial? And I will apologize in advance for any background noise that you all hear. I'm actually in the mock trial room now, and we have some actual team members walking in and out, taking care of some administrative stuff as we speak. So with that being said, what is mock trial? Mock trial is kind of similar to Moot Court, kind of similar to what Ms. Gonzalez talked to you all about not too long ago. However, mock trial, it simulates our trial court system. Something akin to, I guess, Law and Order or the Perry Masons or the Matlock, even damages suits or How to Get Away with Murder in some aspects. But we simulate various civil and criminal cases where we as students participate as witnesses, attorneys, and other various roles against other teams throughout the country. Last semester, we even went to Buffalo, New York to compete in a competition, and we did very well with that. We compete against other teams in front of actual practicing judges and attorneys. While this may seem a little daunting at first, I promise you, I assure you, it is one of the best ways to get acclimated or to accustom yourself to what it feels like to actually be a trial attorney. The practicing judges and the attorneys, they're very inviting, and they provide an incredible amount of invaluable knowledge and advice to those who are wishing to be trial attorneys, or just, what personal experience they've had or are having as a judge and attorney, currently. And so the next point I want to cover is what you'll actually learn from mock trial. Kind of piggybacking or echoing what Ms. Gonzalez talked to you all about earlier, time management. Time management is one of the things you will learn almost immediately once being on the mock trial team. You have to be organized, and one of the best ways to do that is to make a schedule. Mock trial provides an immense understanding of our judicial system and the trial level, the rules, the court decorum, proper courtroom, etiquette. You really gain a sense of what is expected of a lawyer in our society, our democracy, within a very effective adversarial system. You're going to develop speaking skills, public speaking, how to form effective arguments. One of the things I'll slip in there is that you understand that an argument is not actually two people fussing at each other, but it's really legal theories competing against one another. You'll learn how to issue spot, and something I believe that is maybe one of the most important things that mock trial provides for the students and its members is it improves self-confidence. If you think you have self-confidence now, once you get finished with this program, it'll be through the roof. If you are struggling with self-confidence or you want to build self-confidence, mock trial is the place. It is the format, the grounds to do that, and especially under the tutelage of our director, Professor Christopoulos. You will also learn how to look at a case from various perspectives, from both sides, because there are some competitions where you have to argue both sides of the case, and how to compromise on various issues to resolve, the overarching conflict within the case. Obviously, there are many forms our country, kind of handles legal conflicts, but going to trial is one of them. And that is what we focus on in particular in mock trial. You will learn how to apply the federal rule of evidence. Instead of just going to class, and learning about it, you learn how to actually apply it in a real, simulated situation. And it's not just how to apply evidence, but legal matters that deals with tort. Is it a battery? Is it an assault? With contracts, is it an actual contract? Bifurcated trials, what is negligence? Even in criminal law, you get a hands-on experience of how these particular rules and how the legal aspects and issues within these subject matters actually apply in actual case situations. All of this and more, it really prepares us to become very effective trial attorneys and advocates for our future clients and even in our community here. The networking opportunities and connections that you have, opportunities to take advantage of are simply invaluable. When we, gather our teams and select the teams for various competitions, whatever they may be, the teams are grouped and they are led by a coach who is an actual practicing attorney within the Jacksonville community. Words cannot convey how invaluable that experience is. I have developed an increased amount of respect for our coaches. Two of them in particular have become personal mentors of mine. I've received internships, working opportunities, just having that mock trial experience. It has been truly invaluable. And when preparing for the competitions, we also travel just like the moot court does. The only thing that is different from the moot court aspect and the trial court aspect is what I said earlier. Moot court deals with the appellate court system, and we deal with the actual trial court system. And what can you do to actually join the team? Again, it's very similar to what Ms. Gonzalez was talking about. Joining is very simple. You don't have to come to us during the first stage. We actually come to you, whether it be various flyers or news reports that are posted throughout the school, various emails. We even come to your class and provide a brief presentation to those who are interested and invite you to come and join the mock trial team. And the second stage of that is we have applications. Once you submit the application, you make it by the deadline, we then have tryouts of those particular applicants. The application process is very simple. It's just your name, your interest, why do you want to become a part of mock trial? And the reason why we ask that question is because it helps us with subject matters. If you want more experience in criminal law or civil law, we can kind of categorize those groups of students and future advocates to actually advocate in those particular areas. We'll ask you if you have any personal family plans that are previously scheduled, so they don't conflict with the competitions that we may have going on through the summer. So I didn't want to intimidate anyone with the application process. So I want to go ahead and just throw that out there. But once that application is done, you actually do a tryout. And between the application process and the tryout, we provide a myriad of training sessions of what to expect, what to do, what not to do. You may want to say this, but we'll tell you not to say that. It's very interactive, it's very fun and hands-on, and you get a true appreciation and understanding of what to expect to be on this particular team. We have a complete open door policy here at Florida Coastal. What you will find with our mock trial team, we say team, but it's really, we're more of a family. There's not a week that doesn't go by where I'm not hanging out with someone from the mock trial team or studying with someone. We have become a very close unit. We're very dedicated to each other. We study together. Our director, Professor Kostopoulos, is very hands-on with us. The open door policy even reaches out to him. So if you all have any questions, any information that I'm not able to provide you with today, please feel free to log on to our website and you could simply type in FCSL mock trial team and it'll populate on the screen. Again, thank you all so much for having me, and I look forward to seeing some of you all in the future.
Thank you so much, Kier. Are you able to stay on a little bit in case anybody has questions at the end?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. I just want to try to get through Cody and Jamie, and then we'll open up questions at the end. So Cody, I see you're already on. Go ahead and let me just click the slide, and you are good to go.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Cody Eagle. I'm the editor-in-chief of Florida Coastal's Law Review. Before I get into law review or anything like that, I just kind of wanted to echo some common themes so far. Academic organizations, while they might be time consuming and why they might add a lot onto your schedule, they're key in your development, in the development of your legal mind. I've never had firsthand experience with pro bono, but I know of the great work that Professor Millard and the pro bono program does. Kier is a good friend of mine, and mock trial is an amazing opportunity. And I'm on Moot Court as well, and I've gotten to know Vivian very well, and she's an amazing president, and it's absolutely an amazing opportunity. The biggest thing is with these academics organizations is while the doctrinal studies might be the core of our development on our trip to the bar and being lawyers and attorneys, these organizations develop your tool belt of intangibles, such as time management, like everyone said, the ability to speak in public, the ability to just rise to the occasion. All these things aren't exclusive to one organization, but they definitely get developed in anything you put yourself out there. Now to touch on Law Review a bit. Law Review is an organization based in every law school, most like Moot Court and mock trial. But Law Review usually has this aura of top tier, whatever you want to say. It's not on a different level than anything else. It just is held to so much of a higher standard. And what we do, Law Review, is we basically run a little book publishing business. And we publish 3 journals a year of peer-reviewed work from authors around the world. We actually just finished editing an article for our journal that will come out in the fall. And it was on water paucity in Pakistan. And it's written by a local advocate there named Dr. Ahmed Qureshi. So that's basically what we do. To get these articles, we solicit authors from around the world, like I said, and they can be from Harvard, Yale, Pakistan, et cetera, et cetera. And the goal of our journals is really to convey cutting-edge legal arguments, legal thoughts, maybe conclusions to current legal problems that are presented in moot court and mock trial, and what the take is by bright legal minds across the world. The goal in the end is to have DCA judges, trial court judges, or maybe even local dream here, federal Supreme Court judges, seeing this article and saying, hey, that's a persuasive argument. I'm going to cite that in my opinion. On top of that, Law Review is just an awesome environment. And we have a bunch of members, and we put in a bunch of work, just like moot court and mock trial. All of these things are going to take up a bunch of your time, but the time you put towards these academic organizations are 10 times more valuable than any time you'd put anywhere else, other than if you were working. If you have spare time in if you have spare time in law school, you probably not be doing it right. A couple cool things about our law review is that we're big on student authors. Being published as a student author before you graduate law school might be one of the biggest resume boosters you can have, other than being on an academic organization. It shows that you have some legal argument that someone out there thought was so great that they could publish, and that your work was up to those blue booking standards. The prestige of having law review on your resume, just like Vivian and Kier noted on Moot Court Mock Trial, especially in the local Jacksonville area, you can go on Simplicity and you'll see most every job posting requires law review, Moot Court, or mock trial, or some combination of the two or three. Rather, never the three. That would be kind of crazy. The reason that employers weigh law review so heavy is because it's almost a stamp of approval saying, hey, I know how to research, I know how to write, which is something in every single job. Even if you're a trial attorney and you're getting all of the memos and stuff handed to you, that's a huge part of the job, is the research and the writing, because you'll always have to look up something on your own, and you'll always have to figure it out on your own. This gets exponentially developed in law review because like I said, we just did a article on water paucity in Pakistan, which I don't know about many of you guys, but I have no idea about that. So checking each sentence of this 30-page article for a source through the internet or a literary source to back up the assertion the author is making just develops your mind, and it opens you up to so many different things, which at the end of the day is really important in developing yourself to be a great attorney and lawyer. All right, I'm going to share a personal experience or two with law review and why I enjoyed it so much. Law review was something that I didn't think I was going to get on when I first came to Florida Coastal. I heard that law review was the organization I wanted to join in law school on top of the others. And if you can do moot court or mock trial with it, you definitely want to do that. And that was the road I took. Law review kind of threw me in the deep end. I thought I knew how to write. I thought I knew how to read. And then I thought I knew how to legally write after my first year. But oh boy, did things change. It showed me right then and there how wrong I was and how far I had to go. And while I think it was a gut-checking moment, at the same time, it showed me that from this point on in our lives, and this is more to all the students, we will be constantly pushing our boundaries of what's comfortable to us and trying to develop as a person, as a peer, and as an attorney nearly every day. Now, joining law review. Let me look at the message real quick. Joining law review. Okay. Joining law review, you get to join law review in two ways. You either grade on or you write on. At the end of your first year, if you are a traditional fall student, or at the end of your first winter term, if you're a winter admit, a spring admit, you will have the opportunity to write on, or you will be given a candidate invitation through a grade on procedure. Grade-ons are usually given to the top 5. Grade-on invitations are usually given to the top 5 to 10% of the class. And of those top 5 to 10%, we get replies, and whoever all it simply is yes, I'd like to join law review. You've put in your work your first year, you've shown you're a cut above your peers, and for that, you get an automatic invitation. Now, this isn't the only way to join law review. You can also write on, and what the write-on competition consists of is each person wishing to get a candidate invitation writing a 10 to 15-page case note on a recent Florida Supreme Court or federal Supreme Court decision. While I don't want to go into all things that go around a case note because we'd be here for a while. It's basically just breaking down the case. It's just a case brief on what everyone likes to call steroids. It is just you go into the analysis, the conclusion, you make sure you have proper blue booking, et cetera. We give you a checklist. And while it is time consuming, and while it does happen after your finals would be over, it's all an important part of the process. We want those students who can push through after finals are over and write a 10 to 15 page paper that looks beautiful. We want students who know that their priority is law school right here and now. Again, I guess I hope I didn't miss anything, but just want to echo again how great academic organizations are for your legal development and how you should definitely fill yourself out in your first year to try to see if you have time or you have the ability to take on extra organizations like this, because the job offers, the experience, the prestige, the confidence, like Kier said, it all comes hand in hand with putting yourself out there and competing and making yourself a better person in your doctrinal studies and through these academic organizations. All right, thank you.
Cody, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. If you are available, go ahead and stay, and we might have some questions here at the end. Jamie, go ahead, take it away.
All right. My name is Jamie Cartman. I am an attorney advisor at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and I am a 2009 graduate of Florida Coastal. I was a law school super nerd. I was vice president of the mock trial team, the notes and comments editor of the law review, and pro bono honors. However, before law school, I was not. So I think that for some students, all of these amazing things can seem very intimidating. But law school is what you make of it, and it's what you put into it. And I think that it's probably right that if you have spare time in law school, you're not doing it right. I like that. And so there's definitely opportunities throughout law school to really push yourself and challenge yourself and develop and mature as a person and as a professional. And all of these organizations really help you do that. I think that everybody that spoke really, I'm very impressed with everything that they said and the people that they are. And I'm just going to try and pull the pieces together for once you get to the other side. The skills from mock trial, the teamwork, the ability to collaborate, the ability to advocate, the ability to speak publicly, all of those things helped build my confidence for when it came time to go on interviews, and the networking component of having already a network of attorneys that I knew from coaches and judges and people that had been involved in the mock trial process while I was in law school. That proved very valuable when it came time for a job search. Law review was another one of those feathers in my cap, having that on my resume. But more than that, as I believe it was Cody was saying about the publication component, when I was in school, my case note was published. And the article that I wrote as my law review requirement, I wrote it for a contest, because when would a law student ever otherwise have time to write for a contest? And I ended up winning that and being published. So by the time I graduated law school, I had 2 publications, and that was a tremendous boost when it came time to go to interviews. I remember an interviewer reaching over and pointing to it on my resume and being like, "Tell me about this." So that's something that even if you end up not making law review, there are so many opportunities for student publication. Feel free to reach out to me afterwards if you want to know more about that. It's really an incredible opportunity to set yourself apart, not just from other students at Coastal, but from law students across the country. And with pro bono, again, that network building, the opportunity to build mentorships. When I was in law school, I volunteered at Legal Aid, and seeing the need in our community, I think, is very important, because as lawyers, we often end up locked away in an office, and we don't necessarily see that need every day, depending what kind of work you're doing. And so I think having a perspective on where that need is and why it's so important to do pro bono work and give back to the community makes you a better person and a better lawyer. But my time at Legal Aid, I was in the Fair Housing Unit, and that was during my first summer in law school. And that ended up being obviously a boost when it came time to apply to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, which is responsible for enforcing the Fair Housing Act. And although that is not the type of work that I do now, I think that that helped show the agency that I was interested in the work that we do and that I had an interest in housing and giving back to the community. So particularly if you have an interest in going into a public service field, even if it's at the government level, that giving back and doing for your community really helps promote that. Coastal offers a lot of opportunities as well for internships, externships, the clinical programs. We haven't really touched on that, but that's another very valuable option that Coastal offers. I did an externship at the Florida Supreme Court. I worked full-time for Justice Peggy Quince. And that was another opportunity where had I been somewhere that wasn't Coastal, maybe I wouldn't have had a chance to do that. And so I think that Coastal offers everyone, and particularly high achieving students, a lot of opportunities. All of those opportunities are there. You just have to take advantage of them. And I think that the open door policy that most professors have, that the administration has, really allows students to get engaged and develop professionally and personally and really become incredible lawyers at the end of the day when they graduate, pass the bar exam. And so all of those tools are there. Coastal provides an excellent toolkit and the resources that you need to be successful. And all of these organizations are just an extra step to help you get there. And I think that's all I've got. If there's any questions for me or any of the other folks on the line.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, go ahead. You can type them into the text box, or there's also a question feature, whichever one you guys prefer. But it looks like we still have 3 of our presenters here on the line that can answer any questions you might have. All right. Well, we're here waiting for any questions. I did just want to come back on and thank everybody, not only those who are attending today, but all of our presenters. I agree with Jamie. I was very impressed with the information that they presented to you. Remember, whether it's a faculty member, one of our current students, or alumni, they have been through it. They know what it's like. They might be currently living it. And all of their advice is definitely things to consider and think about when getting involved. And I agree. You really don't want to have any free time when you're in law school. You want to always be kind of filling that time and finding things that you can do that are going to help you once you're done. So we'll kind of wait here another minute if anybody does have any other questions. I will follow up today with an email as well. So if you guys would like to reach out to any of our presenters, I can go ahead and provide you with their information as well for any follow-up questions you might have.
Megan, you have a question in the chat box.
Okay, finally. Let's see. Okay, so applying for
private to conventions if she doesn't want that shown out loud.
Hey, someone's unmuted. Or are they trying to answer the question? Not sure. So let's see, Monica, you're looking to apply for 2018. What's the average age of most students? So I do want to let you know, we do have a lot of non-traditional students. So students who have either taken time off to raise a family, had another career, and then come back to law school. Our average age is about 27, 28. But I don't know. I think some of our current students are still on. They can probably tell you, there are students of all different age ranges. I meet with different students every day. So don't think that even if you're doing this as a second or third career, that it's too late in the game to give law school a try.
And sure, Megan, if you don't mind, I can tag in just a little bit before I go to another meeting here. But
Yes.
this is, me taking a second stab at my career. I'm prior law enforcement of like 6 to 8 years. And so that should give you some type of, hopefully some clarity to your question. But I have colleagues here, they're in their 50s who are here taking, classes and coming to get a JD and want to practice law. So there's anywhere between, early 20s all the way up to the 50s that I know of from personal experience. So hopefully that answers your question.
I think too that I've met a number of non-traditional second career, third career students, and I find that those folks tend to be much more focused and better at networking and getting out in the community as well. So I think that there's some value sometimes to coming at law school from a non-traditional perspective.
I'd like to add that everyone definitely embraces everyone in this environment. And while there might be a lot of non-traditional students, I've never seen anything that makes me think that people are uncomfortable. My executive editor is up there in age, Mr. Herb Armstrong, and I say he has the time of his life at Florida Coastal. I think it's a great environment and everyone is very accepting.
You are going to love it. Florida Coastal is a fantastic opportunity. It's going to open a lot of doors for you that you might not have even known were there. I feel like I had a lot of opportunity at Coastal and really appreciate having had that. It's a great school, great professors, great people.
Does anybody have any other questions that the presenters can answer? And if you don't want to ask them now and come up with something later, we can definitely ensure that those questions are answered for you as well.
Yeah, Megan, you can send out my email address if you'd like.
Okay, thanks, Jamie. All right, it doesn't look like we have any other questions. So again, I want to thank all of our presenters for taking the time out of their day to join us here online. And then all of our attendees, thank you as well for meeting with us. As soon as this kind of finishes up and packages up, we will also make it available on our website. So if you missed something and want to go back and review some of the information, it will be available. I can also email the attachment to you at a later time. But again, thank you so much for joining us here, and we hope to talk to you real soon about your interest in Florida Coastal School of Law.